All right, welcome all. And I hear there's a microphone. Am I audible?
It's just you, John.
Just be me. Okay, that's great. Hey, so scoot over a little bit. Vicki, I'm John, Jock Bourneuf, and my bride, Vicki, are your hosts for tonight. And we happen to be Peter's dad. And I have a little something to say about that name in a few minutes. A wonderful name. You know, we are.
But we chose it.
But we're truly honored to be here. We want to extend a real warm welcome and congratulations to the wedding couple, to the wedding parties. But we really want to thank and extend a welcome to Bud and Elaine. And we want to thank you, Elaine and Bud, for your daughter. So we want to welcome, there's a whole bunch of families here. Want to welcome some, but we can't get to all of them. But there is certainly the Casabooms and the Schultzes. And the Bourneufs. And what's that? Yeah, and the many other families that are here that I didn't mention. You know, and welcome to the godparents. And there's at least a couple sets of godparents here. Welcome to them, and welcome more so to all of Peter and Hailey's friends, either from high school or from college, from work, and world over. And I think with the welcomes, we really don't need to say thank you for what you did. I think as Mark, and where's Mark? As Mark said in the rehearsal a few minutes ago, it's an amazing thing that everybody is here and everybody made it safely. This is an amazing testimony to your caring and loving Peter and Hailey. There's a lot of people that were really late. We got here early, and I won't tell you why. But Pete and Peter and Hailey, we're thrilled to be here to celebrate. And I think like many here, you know, we're looking ahead to the decades of thrills and also challenges that we know you have ahead of you, and we know you are definitely up for it. And in a minute, I'll tell you why. I think, Hailey, from the moment we met you back in the 2021 time period, you know, we could see the magnetism between the two of you. You could see what the two of you meant to one another. And I think clearly, as many know here, maybe this is a union that was meant to be, the way they met in a post-COVID party, and they, you know, talked it up. And then it was either the day after or a couple of days later, Peter's out on the West Side Highway, he's walking along the Hudson, and they get a glance at one another. And Peter continues to walk and coming back a half hour later, and they looked at each other and they started to shoot the you-know-what and start talking. And they went and walked and talked for another, as I understand, another hour and a half. And, you know, just became best friends, and the relationship started. You know, that is a relationship you know, that is, I think is meant to last. So I want to just be sure, before I get into the ingredients of why this is a relationship that's going to last a lifetime, and Vicki and I are 1,000% convinced of that for a handful of reasons. But I have to get into the Pete and Peter thing. Amongst our contemporaries, Pete has always been Peter from the moment he was born. So the wedding announcements went out, the engagement announcements went out. And it was Hailey and Pete. And we got calls from everybody saying, what's this Pete? Is that the same as Peter? Is it a different person? Has he changed his name? And we certainly became well aware that Peter is really known professionally and world over as Pete. And we totally respect that. But he is...
It was his choice.
It was his choice. It was his choice.
Or Pedro.
There's probably no one here that knows him, you know, refers to him as Peter. You know, there are other names, you know, that the Peter will stick because at one time and early in his career, in his life, he was also Peanut. I won't go into the details of that. But a song that Sam introduced to us, an Eminem song, will the real, and so we're going back a few years, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? And so I called Peter Slim Shorty. And I don't call him Peter anymore. When I send him an email, I send him a text, it's, hey, Slim. So if you hear that, you hear Peter, we're talking about Pete. But as I said, you know, Vicki and I are convinced, based on everything we've seen, that this is a relationship for a lifetime, and we know it and we want it. And the reason we say that is that I think we see some what I'll call ingredients of matrimonial of marriage glue, right? And they are, you know, they're the first thing, and I overwrote this: drive, determination, and conviction. You know what you want, you know what you don't want, and if you don't get it, we all know what happens. There's that you guys are a team. You work together as a team, and you communicate as a team. And all the married couples here know how important that is. I mean, witness how this wedding came together. Now, some might say that one of the team worked a little harder than the other to pull the thing off. But you were a team. You know, it's something that's also very important is you're not only they're not only bride and groom, and it's unbelievable. 24 hours from now, you're going to be husband and wife. But you're not only bride and groom and soon to be husband and wife, you are best friends. And we can see that. You do everything together. And we did that. I think for anybody here that is married and you're a couple, you know how important friendship is. You know, it's not just a contract. You guys have independent lives. You have an independence, and that everybody knows. How critical is that? You don't have a dependency on one another. You don't need one another. You want one another. And I think that having independent lives is really so important. What's maybe more important than all of those ingredients in this marriage glue is that you, and we've witnessed this firsthand, you've got a core kindness, you're caring, a love, and understanding. And we not only see that between the two of you, but we see it, and I'm sure everybody here feels it, among all your friends, including your parents. And that comes through loud and clear. That has to be, I think, one of the most important ingredients of matrimonial or marriage glue. You know, I could go into a whole bunch of examples of how we see one or more of those, but I think I could get a little sappy. But we might, you know, touch base on a couple of them. And one is the fact that you guys, Peter's living on Perry Street, got his own apartment, and we helped you move out. And the two of these guys, over 2 years ago, they moved in together. And not only are they still talking to one another, but they're getting married. I mean, to me, that speaks to conviction. It speaks to determination. It speaks to teamwork. It speaks to the communication that you guys had.
Together in 500 square feet.
Moving together that's the most important point. 500 square feet. And is there anybody here that lives in 500 feet? Nobody. Yeah, with two people. Yeah, not just one. You know, another is, and this is Bud and Elaine, when Peter set up, we decided the first time we met Bud and Elaine was at the Annisquam Yacht Club up in Gloucester. Maybe a few know it, most probably do not. And we had dinner there, and Bud knows maybe more people at the Annisquam Yacht Club than I do. And we sat down to dinner, and you know, one could say that the dining and the service at the Annisquam Yacht Club is less than world class. Well, it happened to be on that night, and so they brought I don't know, Elaine, if you remember, they brought the salads out, and they were totally screwed up. And you know, but maybe the rest of it was okay. But Peter started to fume, and he was fuming through the night, and we were trying to calm him down, just like you were doing a few minutes ago. He was fuming, and so, you know, by the time we got home, we had a private moment with Hailey, and Hailey said, leave it to me, I'll talk to him. I think that's communication, that's teamwork. There's other examples. Hailey, everybody here probably knows she ran the New York City Marathon. That is something that, in the bigger world, billions of people, few do, and few have the courage to do. And you did it, and you had determination. You trained, you started it, you participated, and you finished it, which is amazing. That speaks worlds of values between the two of you guys. And then Pete, Slim,
Run the marathon.
he did not run the marathon, but what I see is this determination and conviction. And at MC Credit, and before that at BNP Paribas, I have never seen anybody with more drive and determination. When leading a task, he does not miss a detail. And when heading up the family that will start, he will not miss a detail. He'll be there. He'll be there at all times. And I'll close by just saying that those are a few examples that really speak to the partnership, to the friendship, to the conviction, everything that you bring to the wedding. What we want to do, is raise a glass. And to our raise a glass to Pete and to Hailey. We're going to extend our hopes and our prayers for many decades together, never losing those ingredients of marital glue. Together, delighting in the many gifts that our Creator will bestow on you, and you will justly earn. Together, weathering through many challenges that we all know life will bring. Together, as friends forever, Pete and Hailey. Amen.